My name is Ian Conley, and I'll be discussing the scope statement, project charter, and team communication plan. Firstly, the scope statement is the guideline in which we expect our project to go. This includes what we expect from the hardware, labor, time restraints, and what our finished project will look like and accomplish. We outlined our reason for picking the nonprofit organization, Possum Southern Rescue, and explained our goals, along with the requirements of the project itself. We really wanted to help every facet of the foundation, from increasing volunteer scheduling, making it easier to donate to the organization, and even helping adopt animals in some capacity. We also recognize that the requirements that each of these goals will have, along with the deliverables for each as well. Everything in the project depends on the server holding the data and the pages to show the users. Secondly, we understood that just because it's a nonprofit organization doesn't mean that it won't be the target of some security attack or need regular upkeep, and so administrator access was the logical conclusion for that. As for deliverables, this entire document serves as a deliverable for what can be expected in all aspects of the project in terms of investment. The project success criteria is based off of the surveys we plan to have before and after the site launches to see if the volunteers, donation, and adoption numbers have improved. Our charter formats most of this information in a nice and easily readable way, but with greater emphasis on us, the teammates, and what our particular junction was in the project. Speaking of which, that leads to the communication plan. To shorten this, we essentially wanted every member to feel valuable in the project, and also set up a good time twice a week for everyone to meet. Of course, we also sent each other messages, ideas, and feedback throughout the week on Teams. Lastly, we all agreed to finish this project as best we could by working together as a team.
My name is Amber Davis, and I'm going to review our plan for building the website, designing the layout of the website, improvements made, our work breakdown structure, the script, and the informed consent. Our goal was to create a user-friendly, interactive webpage that will allow Possum Southern Rescue to reach a greater customer base, further allowing them to gain greater community engagement. We collaborated as a team to determine the best flow for our webpage, ensuring that users have the best possible experience with minimal frustrations. We met twice per week during our setup and design phases of the project to review our progress and shortcomings, as well as discussing the most optimal coding methods. During our meetings, we discussed different design options for the webpage to determine which layout would be the most aesthetically pleasing, while still allowing the full functionality expected from our stakeholders. We wanted the page to be easy to maintain, therefore we made sure to utilize a consistent format and add descriptive comments to allow an easy-to-follow code. After completion of our first webpage draft, we gathered feedback from our stakeholders and were able to utilize that information to make improvements. We reviewed any issues or concerns and adapted the page to alleviate any of their stresses. We performed a series of tests on the page throughout this phase to ensure that there were no bugs preventing it from working as expected. This chart reviews our work breakdown structure schedule. We worked over the course of 3 months and divided the work into manageable phases as shown. This is the script we utilized when gathering feedback from potential users of the webpage. And finally, this was our informed consent document, which was presented to each of our test users for their signatures, allowing us to use the data gathered from their sessions.
Hello, my name is Matthew Gilmore. I am the systems administrator for this project. Part of my responsibilities is the design, administer, and support includes all the computer IS systems, which also includes your servers, routers, switches, configurations, all computer hardware, as well as software patching. And as well the network security for this network. I'm part of Team 2 for this project. The team decided to, or agreed to implement network cloud infrastructure for this project. You can find the network design in the Network IS inventory sheet on Appendix E, which is part of our research final paper. Although I'm about to talk about the network infrastructure. So pretty much the network infrastructure lays out since the cloud is going to be all the servers, routers, switches, as well as your firewall is going to be in the cloud. There is going to be a guest Wi-Fi on site, which is strictly just for guests and customers that are on site will access the web server to look at adopted animals. This is pretty much for a animal rescue project, pretty much like an animal shelter. There on the guest Wi-Fi, like I said, guests, customers can look up animals, cats, dogs online. They won't be on the company intranet. Employees and staff, they'll be using thin clients. Mostly your administrators like myself, software developers, web engineers, designers, and higher management will be having laptops. All those devices will have RDP, which is Remote Desktop Protocol, and the connections from there to the cloud would be VPN tunneling. The firewall will be monitored by SolarWinds tool that will have implementation of IDS and IPS sensors. Trying to think what else off the top of my head. Oh, and the network would be on Class A 10.251.x.x network.
Hello, my name is Richard Kraft, and I will be going over the Possum Southern Rescue expense budget and the user task analysis. For the expense budget, we use the information that we have been doing with our return of investment to dictate hours worked. We also added a consult fee for figuring out what Possum wanted us to do. We also wanted to make sure that Possum's recurring costs were allocated correctly for their future use of the website and that they didn't have hidden costs to keep the website going. We also wanted to allocate funds so that we had what we needed to train the staff that was going to use and update the Possum website. For the user task analysis, we wanted to make sure that we were meeting the needs of the shareholders as well as making sure that the website that we were giving Possum was tested and worked as advertised so that they could use it for their specific needs. We wanted to make sure everyone was happy with the final product and it met all of their expectations.
Hello, my name is Jalen Collier, and today I will be discussing the very first part of our implementation of IS systems phase of our Possum Southern Rescue site. Throughout the implementation phase, we plan to use this as an opportunity to create a lab environment that will ensure all servers, switches, routers, and firewalls that will be provided by A2 Hosting can deliver such services that the organization has promised to deliver. Another mission of this test of the workload and performance of virtual services is to increase storage and speed and to make sure that all such devices that will be used through the cloud can be reached by the employees as well as clients through the use of VPNs to also ensure that clients' connections and information is constantly being protected. The way the team has decided to develop some type of training for the users is through the use of a sharing tool called Box. Through the use of Box, we can create and share a various amount of different files and folders at all times. Finally, the group has decided to use the CIA Triad for our security measures. CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The main purpose of the CIA Triad is to help guide the development of security policies for our organization.
My name is Emily Fitz, and I will be going over the evaluation. In the scenario that the end user would like to change the system, we would allow suggestion of change through a tracking ticketing system, which will allow us to analyze the request to come up with the best possible solution. In order to maintain the IS system, it is recommended to back up the servers at least twice a month. as well as to back up configuration files on all network equipment associated with the organization. It is also recommended to conduct audits with third-party vendors every 3 months. As reliability is very important to us, we have a 24-hour on-call tech support. We are also prepared to fight against any hardware faults, software faults, or human errors that could occur. With our IS system, we will ensure its accuracy by having a simple system that has 2 fields in the table check for date inserted and date updated. When a person sends in a request, the table will automatically be stamped with the date and time the request was received. And for maintainability, we will use an easy-to-read code for the maintenance of our website, as well as having regular routine maintenance.